Imagine you are managing a global supply chain company and where you have to handle orders, shipments, and demand forecasting. But unexpected issues arises where sudden shortages like transport delays and the changes in demand. So instead of relying on manual adjustments, what if an AI agent could handle everything automatically? This AI wouldn't just suggest actions, it would decide, execute, and continuously improve its strategies. That's the power of Agentic AI. With that said, guys, I welcome you all on our today's tutorial on what is Agentic AI. Now, before we move on, just a quick info, guys. Simplilearn has got advanced executive program in applied generative AI with 2-day immersion at IIT Madras campus. You'll be getting certificate from IITM Pravartak, masterclasses by IITM, and top IIT's faculty and alumni. So guys, hurry up now and join the course. The course link is mentioned in the description box. Now, let us start with understanding first the first wave of artificial intelligence, which was predictive analytics, or we could say data analytics and forecasting. What exactly happened? Predictive AI focused more on analyzing the historical data, identifying the patterns, and making forecasts about the future events. And these models do not generate any new content, but instead it was predicting outcomes based on the statistical models and machine learning. Now, technically how it used to work? So basically what we had, we used to take, suppose this is the ML model, okay? So this is taking a structured data, which could be suppose any past user activity, or it could be a transaction record, or any sensor reading. For example, you can consider, say, Netflix users' watch history, okay? It could be any movie genre, watch time, and the user rating. So now, after this, what we were basically doing is, we were doing the feature engineering or pre-processing, okay? Now, in the feature engineering process, we were extracting key features like user watch time trends, preferred genres, and watch frequency. And we could also apply scaling, normalization, and encoding techniques to basically make data more usable for the ML model. Then we were using the ML models. Suppose it could be a time series forecasting models like ARIMA, LSTM, and all those given algorithms, which was basically predicting the future movie preferences based on the historical data. And in the output, guys, Netflix AI recommends new shows or movie based on the similar user patterns. So this is how exactly the Netflix model was working, incorporating the machine learning model. So this was exactly the first wave of AI. Now, let us discuss about the second wave of AI. Now, if I discuss about the second wave, which was basically content creation and use of conversational AI. So, LLM models like ChatGPT became very much popular during the second wave of artificial intelligence. So what exactly was happening? Generative AI was taking input data and it was producing new content such as text, images, videos, or even code. And these models learn from patterns in large data sets, and it was generating human-like outputs. Now, let us understand how exactly this technology was working. So basically, first there was a data input, okay? So basically any prompt from the user. So suppose in the GPT, okay? So I'll just open GPT all over here and say we are, suppose we are giving any new prompt, say such as write an article on AI, okay? So this was our given prompt. And after this, what exactly was happening was tokenization and pre-processing. So the input text, suppose which I have written all over here, write an article on AI. So this text was basically split into smaller parts. For example, you could consider certain thing like this. So here you have write as one, and as next. And similarly, you could carry on, for the other words. Then what exactly used to happen that these words were, converted into word embeddings, means the numerical vectors representing words in a higher dimensional space. And then we used to perform neural network processing. So here the LLM processes input such as attention mechanisms, okay, or using these models like GPT-4, BERT, and Llama. And with the help of self-attention layers, they were understanding the context and they were predicting the next word. Okay. Now, as a result, you are getting output certain thing like this. So, which was basically a generative AI phase. So this was, guys, our second evolution of AI. Now, if I talk about our third wave, so it is basically agentic AI or autonomous AI agent. Now, what is this, guys? So the agentic AI actually goes beyond text generation. So it integrates decision making, action execution, and autonomous learning. These AI systems don't just respond to prompts, but they also independently plan, execute, and optimize the processes. So you could understand something like this. So here the first step was the user input or receiving any goal. So user provides any high level instruction. For example, it could be like, say, optimize warehouse shipments for maximum efficiency. It could something be like that. And unlike generative AI, which would generate text, agentic AI executes real world actions. After this, what suppose the prompt that we have given, like optimize warehouse shipments for maximum efficiency, then the next step would have been querying the databases. The AI would pull the real-time data from multiple sources. So it could be traditional database like SQL or NoSQL, where we are fetching inventory levels or shipment history. Then it could be a vector database from where it is receiving some unstructured data like past customer complaints and all those things. Then with the help of external APIs, it is connecting to like forecasting services or fuel price APIs or supplier ERP systems, and these things are like present with this respect. Then the third step was the LLM decision making. Now, after querying the database, the AI agent processes data through the LLM based reasoning engine. Example like decision rules applied, like suppose if inventory is low, then it could automate supplier restocking orders. Like if shipment cost is increasing, then it is rerouting shipments through cheaper vendors. And suppose also if weather condition impacts the route, then it is adjusting the delivery schedules. Now you can understand how agentic AI is behaving all over here in the decision making process. Now, next step would be action execution via APIs. So AI is executing tasks without human intervention. It is triggering an API call to reorder a stock from a supplier or update the warehouse robot workflows to prioritize fast moving products, or even send emails and notifications to logistic partners and about the changes, what is going to be happen. And after this, finally, it is continuously learning, which is a data flywheel all over here. Okay, the AI is monitoring the effectiveness of its action, like it was restocking efficient or did routing shipments, reduce the cost and all. So it is monitoring the effectiveness of the action it has taken, and the data flywheel is continuously improving the future decisions. So basically, it is using reinforcement learning and fine tuning to optimize its logic. Okay. Now, let's have a just quick recap about the comparison of all these three waves of AI. So basically, predictive AI's main focus was on forecasting the trends, okay? While generative AI was creating the content, and agentic AI, on the other hand, which is at the final step right now, is making decision and taking action. So you could see how the evolution happened of AI in all these stages. And if you understand about the learning approach, then predictive AI was basically analyzing the historical data, while generative AI was learning from the patterns, like using text, image generation, okay? But agentic AI is basically using the reinforcement learning or the self-learning to improve its learning approach. Now, if we just look at the user involvement in predictive AI, so human is asking for the forecast and all. Here, human is giving the prompts, but in the agentic AI, the prompts or the intervention of human input has become very much minimal. If you could understand the technology, like basically predictive AI was using machine learning, time series analytics, so these kind of algorithms they were using. Generative AI was using transformers like GPT, Llama, BERT, and all those things. Now, agentic AI is doing what, guys? It is using LLM plus APIs plus autonomous execution. So we have discussed how this workflow is, in a short way, how it is working. And moving ahead, we are also going to discuss through an example how exactly all these steps like agentic AI is working. So based on the example, you could understand like predictive AI, Netflix recommendation model which they have on their system. And similarly, if we talk about generative AI, then you could understand about ChatGPT, writing articles and all those things. And agentic AI, we could imagine like how AI, if incorporated in supply chains, how things are working out. So guys, I hope so you would have got a brief idea regarding the three waves of AI. Now let us move ahead and bit understand about what is the exact difference between generative AI and agentic AI. Now guys, let us understand the difference between generative AI and agentic AI. So let us first, deep dive into what exactly is a generative AI. Okay. So as you can see all over here that generative AI models generally are taking input query, okay, and they are processing it using LLM or large language model and basically returning a static response without taking any further action. So in this case, for example, a chatbot like ChatGPT, it is taking the input from the user. So as I've shown you earlier that suppose I've given an input like write a blog post on AI in healthcare. So when I have written this given user input or given the query, so when it goes to the large language model, this model is actually tokenizing all these input query, and it is retrieving the relevant knowledge from its training data, and it generates text based on the patterns. Now we give the prompt, then LLM processes it, okay, and then we are getting the given output. So now this is basically how generative AI is working. So you could see all over here we have GPT model, we have DALI, we have Codex. So these are some of the amazing generative AI models. Okay. Now let us discuss a bit about DALI, which is actually a realistic image generation Gen AI. So like DALI is described as the realistic image generation model by the OpenAI, and this actually is a part of generative AI category alongside with GPT, which is basically for human-like language creation purposes. This model was created, and you could have also Codex for it could be used for advanced code generation purposes. So let us discuss a bit about DALI. So DALI is like a deep learning model, basically, which is designed to generate realistic images from the text prompt. And it can create highly detailed and creative visuals based on descriptions provided by the users. So some of the aspects of DALI, like you could have all over here, like text to image generation, where users can input text prompts and DALI can generate unique images based on those descriptions. The images generated by DALI are highly realistic and creative. Okay, and it can generate photorealistic images, artistic illustration, and even surreal or imaginative visuals. We will also have customization and variability, where it is allowing variation of an image edits based on text instruction and multiple styles. So this is also part of a generative AI model, and this tool is actually playing a very amazing role. So I will show you one example like how generative AI is actually working in the image generation purposes. So guys, as you can see all over here, I have opened this generative AI tool called DALI. Let us give a prompt to DALI and let's see how the image is generated. So let's say we want a futuristic city at sunset filled with neon skyscraper. Say have flying cars and holographic billboards. Streets are bustling with humanoid robots, and we can have people wearing let's just say high-tech, let's include some technology. Okay, now let us see how DALI is trying to create an image. So this is how actually generative AI is working. So let us wait for a few seconds as the output comes up. Now you can see all over here that this image which is generated, basically this is generated by AI, and you could see based on our prompt, it has given like the kind of the input we gave, and we got the output based on this. Now, so this is one of the amazing Gen AI tool. We could explore this, guys. Okay. Now, guys, let us discuss about agentic AI or autonomous decision making and action execution. So you can see this diagram all over here. So agentic AI, like unlike the generative AI, It is not generating responses, but it is also executing a task autonomously based on the given query. For example, like if we take AI in managing a warehouse inventory, okay? Suppose we want to optimize the warehouse shipment for the next quarter. So here what is going to happen? So first the agent is going to receive its goal all over here, okay? And this AI agent, is going to query the external data sources. So it could, for example, it could be your inventory databases or logistics API, and then it retrieves real-time inventory levels and it demands the given forecast. Okay, now at here it is going to make the autonomous discussions, and the kind of output we are going to get will be kept in observation by this agent. Okay, so basically it is going to analyze the current warehouse stock, predict demand for the next quarter, check the suppliers availability, and automate the restocking if inventory is below the given threshold. So for example, you could imagine, suppose based on the output what we are going to get all over here. So based on this output we could get certain thing like this, like say current inventory level, like say 75% capacity. Okay, then it could have also other thing like say demand forecast, say 30% increase in expected in quarter 2, and also it is going to go say reordering initiated. So this is the output what we are going to get based on the supply chain management example what we are trying to get. So as we have seen in generative AI, user is giving the input, okay, prompt, then it is using a LLM model to generate the given output. But agentic AI is doing what, guys? It is going to take action beyond just generating a text. So in this scenario, it is querying the inventory databases, it is automating the purchase order, it is going to select the optimal shipping providers, which could be suitable for the given company. It is going to continuously refine the strategies based on the real-time feedback. So guys, let's recap once more. So if we talk about the function base, then Gen AI is more concerned with producing a written content or a visual content, okay? And even it can code from the pre-existing input. But if we talk about agentic AI, guys, it is actually, it's all about decision making, taking actions towards a specific goal, and it is focused on achieving the objectives by interacting with the environment and making the autonomous decision. Gen AI is exactly relying on the existing data to predict and generate content based on, say, patterns it has learned during its training phase. But it does not adapt or evolve from its experiences. Whereas if I talk about agentic AI, it is adaptive. So it is learning from its actions and experiences. It is improving over time by analyzing the feedback, adjusting its behavior to meet objectives more effectively. With the help of Gen AI, human input is essential to the prompt, so that basically with the help of that, it could go into the LLM model and it could generate the given output based on your prompt. Once you set up the agentic AI, it requires like minimum human involvement. It operates autonomously, making decisions and adapting to changes like without continuous human guidance. And it can even learn in real time. So that's what the beauty of agentic AI is. So we have given one example of Gen AI, like basically giving prompt to the ChatGPT or DALL-E, okay? And agentic AI, one example could be your supply chain management system. Now, let us deep dive into understanding the technical aspects of how agentic AI is exactly working. Now, guys, let us try to understand how agentic AI is exactly working. So, there is actually a 4-step process of how agentic AI exactly works. So, the first step is perceiving, where basically what we are doing is we are gathering and processing information from databases, sensors, and digital environments. And also, the next step is reasoning. So with the help of large language model as a decision-making engine, it is generating the solutions. If we talk about the third step, which is acting, so it is integrating with external tools and softwares to autonomously execute the given task. And finally, it is learning continuously to improve through the feedback loop, which is also known as the data flywheel. Okay. Now, let us explore each of the steps one by one and let us try to understand. So if we talk about perceiving, okay, so this is actually the first step where agentic AI is actually stepping up. So it is doing the perception where what exactly is happening, guys, that AI is collecting data from multiple sources. So this data could be from database, okay, like your traditional and vector databases, okay. So it could be GraphQL, like vector database means the same. And if we talk about other from data, it could be from APIs, like it is fetching real-time information from external systems. It is basically taking data from the IoT sensors, like for real-world applications like robotics and logistics. And also it could take data from the user inputs also, like it could be text command, voice commands, or a chatbot interaction. Now, how it is exactly working, guys? So basically, let us recollect everything technically and let us see how this is happening. So the first step which is going in perceiving is the data extraction, where exactly the AI agent queries the structured databases like SQL or NoSQL for relevant records. It is also using vector databases to retrieve any semantic data for context-aware responses, like it could be any complaint certain it is trying to find out. Okay, so next, after it has got the data extraction, it goes for feature extraction and pre-processing, where AI is filtering the relevant features from the raw data. For example, like a fraud detection AI is scanning the transaction log for anomalies. The third thing it is entity recognition and object detection. So AI uses basically computer vision to detect objects and images, and then it is applying the named entity recognition. This is a technique, okay, to extract the critical terms from the given text also. So we have three step-by-step process which is happening in perceiving. The first one is data extraction. Second one is feature extraction and pre-processing. The third one is like entity recognition and object detection. So let us take a very simple example like AI-based customer support system. So if we consider an agentic AI assistant like for a customer service, so say a customer is asking, where is my order? So the AI queries multiple databases all over here. Suppose it is going to query the e-commerce order database to retrieve the order status, or it could go to the logistics API to track the real-time shipment location. Also, it could go for customer interaction history to provide personalized response. The result what we get all over here is that the AI is fetching the tracking details, identifying any delays if it is happening, and suggesting the best course of action. Now, the next step is reasoning. Okay. Now, AI's understanding and decision making and problem solving is making agentic AI way greater. So here, what is exactly happening? Like once the AI has perceived the data, now it should start reasoning it. Okay, so the LLM model acts as a reasoning engine, orchestrating AI processes and integrating with specialized models for various functions. So if we talk about the key components like here used in the reasoning, it could be LLM based decision making. So AI agents could use models like LLMs like GPT-4, Cloud, Llama to interpret a user intent and generate a response. It is basically coordinating with smaller AI models for domain-specific tasks, like it could be like financial prediction or medical diagnostics. So these could be, the given example. Then it is using retrieval augmented generation or RAG model, okay, to with the help of which AI is enhancing the accuracy, by retrieving any proprietary data from the company's databases. For example, like instead of relying on GPT-4's knowledge, the AI can fetch company-specific policies to generate the accurate answers. So this could be the one. And in the reasoning, the final step is AI workflow and planning. So it is a multi-step reasoning where AI is breaking down complex tasks into logical steps. For example, like if asked to automate a financial report, AI is retrieving the transaction data, analyzing the trend, and it is formatting the results. Also, for example, you could use this in supply chain management. So suppose consider there is a logistics company which is using the agentic AI to optimize what could be the shipping routes. So a supply chain manager requesting the AI agent to find the best shipping route to reduce the delivery cost. So the AI processes real-time fuel prices, traffic conditions, and weather report. So using LLM plus data retrieval, it finds out the optimized routes and selects the cheapest carrier. Result you get is that AI chooses the best delivery option. So here the cost is reduced and improving efficiency. So this is one of the use cases, guys. So after perceiving, you get his reasoning. Okay. Now let us move ahead and discuss about the third step, which is act. So in this step, basically what is happening, like AI is taking autonomous actions. So unlike generative AI, which stops at generating content, so agentic AI takes the real world action. Okay. How AI is executing tasks autonomously, guys? So basically first step is like here the integration with APIs and software could be happen, where AI can send automated API calls to the business systems. For example, like reordering the stock from the supplier's API. So suppose any inventory level is going down, so it could reorder that particular stock from the supplier's API. So it is interacting with the given API. Now it could also automate the workflows, like AI executes multi-step workflows without human supervision. So here like AI can handle like insurance claims by verifying the documents, checking policies, and approving the payouts. And finally, AI could operate within predefined business rules, okay, to prevent any unauthorized actions also. So ethical AI is basically being worked in this direction. For example, like AI can automatically process claims up to say 10,000 US dollars, but it is requiring the human approval for the higher amounts. So based on insurance and policy making stuff, so agentic AI could be really helpful in this scenario. One example, like let's consider. So let's say we have this agentic AI managing an IT support system. So suppose a user says my email server is down. So the AI can diagnose the issue, restart the server, and confirms the given resolution. Now, if it is unresolved, then AI escalates to a human technician. Then it results into AI is fixing the issues autonomously, reducing the downtime. Okay. So this is where your action or act is coming up into the picture. Now, if we go on to the next and the final step, which is learning. So learning basically with the help of data flywheel, it is continuously learning. Okay. So this is the feedback loop all over here, which is the data flywheel. So how AI learns over the time? If we ask this question, so what is exactly happening that it is interacting with the data collection. Suppose AI logs successful and failed actions. For example, like if users correct AI generated responses, the AI is learning from those corrections. Second thing, what you could do is you could you could fine tune the model and do reinforcement learning. So AI adjusts its decision making models, basically to improve future accuracy. It uses reinforcement learning basically to optimize workflows based on past performance. Okay. Now, third step could be automated data labeling and self-correction. So here, what is happening that AI is labeling and categorizing past interactions to refine its knowledge base. Example like AI autonomously is updating frequently asked answers based on the recurring user queries. So in this way, AI is learning over the time. Example one you could consider. So say we have this AI is optimizing any financial fraud detection. So say this is consider that this is a bank which is AI powered, which has this AI powered fraud detection system. So AI is analyzing these financial transaction and it is detecting any suspicious activity. And if flagged, the transactions are false, and AI is learning to reduce these false alerts. So over the time, AI is improving the fraud detection accuracy, like minimizing disruptions for the customer. So in this way, AI is getting smarter over the time, like reducing the false alerts and also the financial fraud. So let's have a just quick recap of what we studied right now. So agentic AI works in 4 steps. The first step is perceiving, where AI is gathering data from databases, sensors, and APIs. The next step is reasoning. So it is using LLM to interpret tasks, applies logic, and generating the solution. The third step is acting. So here AI is integrating with external systems and automating the task. And finally, it is learning. So AI is improving over the time, via feedback loop, or which is basically called as data flywheel. So guys, now let us see this diagram and try to understand what this diagram is trying to say. So the first thing, you could see an AI agent all over here. So this is an AI agent, which is basically an autonomous system. So which has the capability of perceiving its environment, making decision, and executing actions without any human intervention. Now, AI agent is acting as the central intelligence, okay, in this given diagram, and it interacts with the user, okay, and various other data sources. It processes input, queries databases, makes decision using a large language model, and it is executing action and it is learning from the given feedback. Now, the next step you could see the LLM model. So, if we talk about LLMs, these are the large language model, which is kind of an advanced AI model trained on massive amount of text data to understand, generate, and reason over natural language. Now, if I talk about this LLM, so this is actually acting as the reasoning engine all over here, and it is interpreting the user inputs and making informed decision. It is also retrieving relevant data from the databases, generating responses. It can also coordinate with multiple AI models for different tasks, like it could be content generation, okay, predictions, or decision making. Now, when the user is asking a chatbot, like for example, let's say, what is my account balance? So the LLM processes the query, retrieves the relevant data, and responds the given bank balance accordingly. But now, if you look at the kind of database the LLM is interacting, so we have the traditional database and the vector database. So here, if I say the database, like AI agent basically is querying the structured database. So suppose structured database, like it could be a customer records or inventory data, or it could be any transactional log also. So traditional databases basically store well-defined, structured information. Okay. So for example, like when a bank AI assistant is processing a query like show my last 5 transactions, so it is basically fetching the information from a traditional SQL-based database. Next, we have this vector database also, guys. So vector database is a specialized kind of a database for storing unstructured data, which could be like text embeddings, images, or audio representations. So guys, like unlike traditional databases that store exact values, vector databases store in a high-dimensional mathematical space. It allows AI models to search semantically similar data instead of like exact matches. Now, AI is retrieving the contextual information from the vector databases, which is actually enhancing the decision making. It is improving the AI memory by allowing the system also to search for conceptually similar past interaction. Let's take an example to understand this. For example, we have discussed about a customer support chatbot. So suppose if it queries a vector database to find out similar past tickets, like when responding to a customer query. So a recommendation engine could use a vector database to find out similar products on a user's past preferences. So this could be done in that scenario. Also, some of the popular vector databases could be like Facebook's AI similarity search, Pinecone, or VV8. These are the certain amazing vector databases. Then you could see the next step is, after it has worked on these given data, it is performing the action. So the action component is referring where AI's agent has this ability to now execute tasks autonomously after the reasoning is done. So AI is integrating with external tools, APIs, or automation software to complete the given task. It does not provide only information, but it is actually, performing the given action. So for example, like in a customer support, the AI can automatically reset a user's password after verifying their identity. If we talk about in finance, then AI can approve a loan also, like based on the predefined eligibility criteria. Now, finally, we have the data flywheel. So data flywheel is a continuous feedback loop where AI is learning from the past interactions, refining its models, and it is always improving over the time. Now, every time like the AI is interacting with the data or taking an action or receiving a feedback, that information is fed into this model. So this is creating a self-improving AI system that is becoming smarter over the time. So the data flywheel is allowing AI to learn from every interaction, and AI is becoming more efficient by continuously optimizing responses and refining strategies. Best thing could be used in fraud detection. So in this, the AI is going to learn from the past fraud cases, and it is going to detect new fraudulent patterns and more effectively. Chatbots also can learn from user feedback and improve the responses. And finally, you have the model customization. which is basically you are trying to fine tune the AI models on specific business need or any industry requirement. So AI models are not static, like they can be adapted and optimized for a specific task. So custom fine tuning is actually improving the accuracy and domain specific application, like it could be finance, healthcare, or cybersecurity. So a financial institution, say, fine tuning an LLM to generate an investment advice, okay, on the historical market trends. That could be one use case. Or in healthcare, if we discuss like the healthcare provider is fine tuning then AI model to interpret the medical reports and recommend the treatments. So guys, based on the given diagram, you would have got a brief idea like how agentic AI is working. Now, if we discuss about the future of agentic AI, then guys, I would say it looks very much promising because it is keep improving itself and it is finding new ways to be useful. Like with better machine learning algorithms and smarter decision making, these AI systems will be more independent, handling complex tasks on their own. And believe me, in industries like healthcare, finance, customer service, they have already started to see how AI agents can make more impact and it could be more efficient from a personalization perspective, managing resources and many more other things. So as this system continue to learn and adapt, I think so they will be opening up even more possibilities, helping businesses grow, improving how we live and work. Now, I would say that in conclusion that agentic AI is actually paving the way for new opportunities, like unlike the older versions of AI, which was assisting with generating content or predicting the data, or responding to any queries. But agentic AI can perform techniques independently with minimal human effort. And agentic AI has become self-reliant in decision-making way, and it is making very big differences in industry like healthcare, logistics, customer services, which is enabling companies to be more efficient. As a result, it is providing better services to their clients. So guys, that was all for today's video. I hope so you would have enjoyed our today's video on agentic AI. Thank you guys for watching.
Hi there, if you like this video, subscribe to the Simplilearn YouTube channel and click here to watch similar videos. To nerd up and get certified, click here.